guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. I cannot believe it's 2026. This year absolutely flew by and was so crazy and so busy, but all good things, and I'm very excited for a new year, a fresh start. With that being said, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to read in 2026. Not all of them, basically just a list of books that I really want to read. 26 is honestly a lot because I only read 35 books last year, so that's what, like 75% of the books that I'm going to be reading. My goal for this year is 50. I hit 50 the year before last, so I'm going to do 50 again. My goal was 75 last year. Obviously, I didn't meet that. I was very short of that. I feel like my love for reading is back, and towards the end of the year, I was really able to like pick it up a lot more. Anyways, 26 books is really like half of that. I wrote down all the books in my little journal here. I will say majority of them are books that I already have. Another goal of mine is to really get through my physical TBR. I have definitely dialed back on buying books. I used to buy like 10 books a month. Maybe not that much. Maybe that's a little exaggerated, but it was definitely like at least 5 books every single month. And last year I really dialed it down because I wasn't really reading a lot, but I also knew that I had so many books that I needed to stop spending money on books that I wasn't even going to read for like a whole year. This is like all my TBR here. So I have 3 full shelves of TBR. Definitely a good amount. So I'm really trying to get through those this year. Most of my recent buys have been from gift cards for Christmas because there are still books that I want to purchase that like are newer books that everyone is talking about. Let's go ahead and get into the 26 books I want to read in 2026. But I'm just going to start off from the top and kind of work my way down. They're not really in any particular order. The first book that I want to read is called The Bright Years. I'm sure you guys have seen this book everywhere. It's like super popular right now. I got the book recommendation from Sarah Crowley. She talked about this in her favorite books of 2025. It like made me want to read it immediately, and I literally have been on the hunt for this book. I literally went to like 3 different bookstores to try to find this because I had gift cards, and I was like, if I'm gonna buy books, I want to buy books that are on this list that I really want to read. And I could not find it anywhere. This is going to be one of the books that I do buy this year. But yeah, I'm definitely reading this book. It's a debut family saga about the Bright family in Texas, exploring themes of addiction, secrets, love, and loss across 4 generations, told from the perspectives of Ryan, Lillian, and their daughter, Georgette. This is a historical fiction. I have been absolutely loving historical fiction. I read The Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, then I also read The Women. I think I'm realizing how much I really enjoy historical fiction. I love learning about the past. I love learning about like events that happened in the past that I learned about in school and didn't really pay attention, and now I'm like trying to catch up and learn about all these things, and it's just so fascinating like being put into a story, into someone's life during that time. I'm very excited to read this book by Sarah Damoff, and it's her debut novel. So that's pretty cool. It's really popular. And then I have the favorites on here. This is by Lane Fargo, I believe. Yeah, I have it right here. I think this is about like an ice skater. It's about like ice skating. And then it says, as the 10-year anniversary of their final skate approaches, an unauthorized documentary reignites the public obsession with Shaw and Rocha, claiming to uncover the real story through interviews with their closest friends and fiercest rivals. So it says like a shocking incident happened that brought their partnership to an end. So it sounds like 10 years later, it's kind of bringing up all these memories. I wonder if this is going to be kind of like a dual timeline, like, you know, past tense and present tense at the same time. The next one I have on here is Slanting Towards the Sea. I don't have the physical copy of this either. I could not find it in store. A decade-spanning love story set against the backdrop of post-war Croatia. The story follows Ivana, who reconnects with her ex-husband and his new family, exploring themes of love, identity, and self-discovery. We have Wild Dark Shore. I've been watching a lot of like reviews from 2025, and a lot of these books were on there. This is about a family living on a remote island near Antarctica, tasked with guarding a vital seed bank as the world faces climate disaster. Plot thickens when a mysterious half-drowned woman washes ashore, forcing the family to confront their own secrets and impending loss of their home as the seed bank project shuts down. It says thriller, climate fiction, family drama. Now getting into books that I have and that I've had for a while that I want to get to. First one is pretty obvious. It's the Throne of Glass series. I started this last year. I started with Assassin's Blade, and I wanted to read Throne of Glass before the end of the year, like in December. I didn't get around to it. I read a lot of books that I wanted to read on my end of year TBR. That one I did not get to. So I definitely want to read Throne of Glass, and I think there's like 6 more books after that as well. Definitely a series I want to finish in the year. That is like one of my biggest goals. I've had that series for like a year and a half, and I need to get to it, and I want to because the first book was really good. I think I'm just like really intimidated by the length of it, and I'm the kind of person that does not read series like one book after another. I kind of like hop around, if you couldn't tell. I don't know why I'm like that. I think I just like to read different things, different genres. Also, another series I want to read is the Hunger Games series. My husband bought this book set for me for my birthday in September, and I haven't even started it yet. I've been wanting to read it for years. I love the Hunger Games movies so much, and I've heard the books are even better. I want to get through Throne of Glass first though, because I've already started that very large series before I start another 5-book series. That will be read this year. I don't know exactly when, but it definitely will be at some point. Also, I should have said this, I'm counting series as one book. I don't know if that's wrong of me, but that only counts as like one book to me. The next one I have is Project Hail Mary. This was actually a recent read or recent purchase. If you don't know, this has been like a very popular book for a long time. This is not like a new book at all by any means. It's pretty loved and highly rated. This is a story of an astronaut. It says he's a sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. I love books like this. Honestly, I just finished Atmosphere, like I told you guys. It was about space, and I don't really know that much about space, but it really intrigues me. I'm really curious to see. Obviously, this is like a science fiction, not real story, but I think it'll be really fun and interesting to read something different. And then I have the Beartown series. This is another recent purchase. I'm so excited to read this. Very, very highly rated and raved about by so many people that I watch. I actually have only tried to read A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I DNF'd it. I did not finish it. And I feel like now I've kind of like grown my reading taste a little bit more. I feel like I could probably get through it at this point, but it was very slow. His writing is very much character driven, like character studies. I don't know, I just like was not enjoying it. So I am definitely hesitant to get into another one of his books, but I've heard nothing but good things about this series. I think it's like 3 books. Also, The Women is on here. I literally just finished that book. I can check off one book on here, but that's by Kristen Hanna. It's about the Vietnam War, about a nurse that goes into the war, all the hardships and like all the bad things that she saw, and also her time coming back from the war and what she struggled with and went through. I love that book so much. First 5-star of the year. It was so good. I have The Academy on here by Ellen Hilderbrand. That is one of her newest releases. She did the Nantucket series for a really long time, like so many books in that series. She's finally starting like a newer series, like private school, high school drama. Then I have the Crimson Moth duology. So this is The Crimson Moth and Rebel Witch, which I think Rebel Witch just came out last year. This is a fantasy series. I did start it. I think I read like the first few pages a while ago. I ended up like picking up something else instead, but I've had this series for a long time, so I definitely want to get this read this year, and I've heard really good things about both of the books. Between the Wild Branches, this is the second book after To Dwell Among Cedars. If you saw my Christian Reads video, I talked about the first one, which was To Dwell Among Cedars. This is a duology. It's a Christian historical fiction, takes place during like Leviticus and Exodus in the Old Testament, like talks about the Ark of the Covenant and everything. Sounds like it wouldn't be very interesting, but the story was so good. That was a 5-star from last year. I'm really excited to get to Between the Wild Branches, which is the second story. It kind of talks about the main character's brother, goes in more into his story. Next is It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. I absolutely love Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I read that a few years ago. It was so good. It was 5 stars. This one is her most recent book, I believe. It came out last year. I started it and then I never like continued it, and I'm just really scared that it's going to be like a very cookie cutter, very similar to the other books that I've read by her. I'm kind of nervous to get into that one, but I really did enjoy Summer Romance when I read it, so I'm just like wanting to have that again, and I'm hoping that I can experience that kind of writing again by her. And then we have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I've had this book for a while, honestly. This is a fantasy book. 2 rival witch families in New York City who control criminal empires and are locked in a long-standing feud, with the plot driven by a Romeo and Juliet style romance between members of the opposing families, exploring themes of love, revenge, and family loyalty. That sounds really interesting. I wonder if there's more if this is like a standalone. I feel like it's a standalone, but I could be wrong. I've always heard good things about Olivia Blake, so I think that's why I picked it up. If it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, that's really cool. I like when books do that. I think it's really fun. Okay, I skipped 2 books. I skipped Firefly Lane, which is also by Kristen Hanna. Like I said, I just finished one of Kristen Hanna's books and I loved it so much. I've also read The Nightingale by her, and loved that too. So I know that I love her as an author. I'm really excited to get into that one. I think that's about like Two Best Friends. And then I also have Little Women on here. Really funny story. I was at my dad's house like a few weeks ago for Christmas. We were kind of going through like some of his bookshelves. My grandma's passed, but a lot of her books are like in the bookshelves in his house. And so I was kind of looking through them. I found this super old copy of Little Women. Literally, this book is falling apart, but I just love this because this was my grandma's. It's a very sentimental piece for me now. And yeah, I'm really excited to read it. The pages, oh my gosh. This is definitely on my TBR for this year. I'm really, really excited to get to it. I don't even know what that's about. I just know it's a classic. So the next one I have is The Ministry of Time. It says it's a sci-fi romance and historical fiction following a civil servant tasked with helping a Victorian era naval officer after he's rescued from his doomed Arctic expedition. Wait, that actually sounds really interesting. Okay, wow. That sounds really interesting. I think I'm gonna pick this up soon. This one I'm definitely picking up soon. I'm really excited to read that. And then I have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I actually started reading this at some point in 2025 and I was listening to the audiobook. I think I got through like 5 to 10 chapters. I'm not quite sure where I stopped, but this takes place in kind of like a hospital setting, or at least it starts off that way. There's a patient that's in there for some kind of care, and then the main character ends up meeting this patient. I don't really know the full premise on this. I just know it involves video games and some kind of like video game creation. I don't know. It was really slow when I read it. Like I said, I listened to the audiobook. I don't know. For some reason, I just think it wasn't the right time to read it, but I have heard really, really good things about this. So I want to try to read it again. I just don't know when exactly that's going to be, but I do want to pick it up again. I think I need to like physically read it because sometimes listening to the audiobook and like when I'm not fully paying attention, I end up like start listening and I realize I have no idea what's going on. So I have to go back and it's just not good. So I think I need to actually pick up this series. I have the Lightlark series. So that's Lightlark and Nightbane, I think. I don't know if there's more than 2 books, but there's 3 books. So there's Lightlark, Nightbane, and Skyshade. I don't even know if that's the correct order, but it's a YA romantasy series following Isla Crown as she navigates a deadly centennial game on the island of Lightlark to break her kingdom curse. Is there another one coming out? Crown Tide. Okay, so this is kind of a long series. I did not realize that. You know, I only have Lightlark, so I guess we'll see if I like it. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna buy the other books or continue it, but I have had this for a minute, so I definitely want to get to it. We only have a few more books left. So next I have The Match by Sarah Adams. I've heard a lot of good things about Sarah Adams, but I also know that she is a closed door romance writer, which is why I've been like wanting to get into her books. The Match just happened to be the first one that I picked up by her. I know she has a lot of different romances out there. The contemporary romance, it says it's about Evie Jones, who works for a service dog company, single dad Jacob, whose daughter needs a service dog for her epilepsy. Like a little meet cute moment. The next one I have is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. I've read 3 Francine Rivers, maybe 4, at least 3. Redeeming Love, The Masterpiece, and A Lineage of Grace by her. All really good books. I think she's a great author, Christian author, by the way. The Voice in the Wind series, I had a subscriber sent to me. I probably have had it for a year now. I think it's 3 books, maybe 4 books, called the Mark of the Lion series. Synopsis says it is the story of a young Christian Jewish slave named Hadassah living under the Roman Empire. She is captured by Roman soldiers and her entire family is killed. She serves as a slave to a teenage Roman woman named Julia, whose parents marry her off to a much older man. Set in the Roman Empire during the 1st century, around the time of the New Testament's Book of Acts. I always like to see like what time period it takes place to kind of connect it to the Bible. I'm excited to read that one. I have Mere Christianity on here as well. I've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of people I know personally have read this book and recommended it heavily. I think it just kind of really encourages your faith and talks about like why you believe what you believe. I absolutely love Christian nonfiction. I read probably like 10 books last year of this genre and really grew my faith and just really encouraged me. Then I have Lessons in Chemistry. Y'all, I've had this book for so long. I bought it because it was on sale at a bookstore for like super cheap, like $7 or something. And I've yet to read it, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. I know it's kind of old. Oh my gosh, there's an Amazon Prime series. Wow, that's so interesting. Oh, this is a historical fiction. It's about a brilliant female chemist in the 1960s, faces sexism in her field and becomes the unlikely star of a revolutionary TV cooking show where she teaches science and empowers housewives to challenge the status quo. Now I really want to read this. 3 more left, guys. I have One Golden Summer on here. This is by Carly Fortune. This is a book I wanted to read in the summer. And now I live in Arizona, so I can can kind of read it whenever because it always feels like summer here. I just heard a lot of good things about it, a lot of good things about Carly Fortune. I've never read anything by her. The cover is absolutely stunning too. So pretty. Burnout photographer who returns to a lake cottage from her youth where she reconnects with Charlie, the subject of her first famous photo, leading to a summer romance that reignites her passion for art and love. Next, I have Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. This would be a reread for me. I just had to put this on the list because I read every single book last year of the Magnolia Park series. That book is so special to me. It still gets top book of all time of my favorite book ever. I don't think anything will honestly ever replace that book. It just holds such a special place in my heart. I can't even explain it. I know it's a book. I know it's words on paper. Anyways, I really want to reread this year. This is definitely like needs to happen, is going to happen. This last one I actually have not heard like anyone talk about because it's new. I don't even think it's out yet. I was looking on the books that are coming out in 2026 and really trying to find something that I thought sounded intriguing. This is what I need to do for reading more, is find books that nobody has talked about, find out for myself if it's good or not. It's called Whistler by Ann Patchett. It is a chance reunion between a woman, Daphne, and her former stepfather, Eddie, who had a profound impact on her life when she was a child. The story explores their rekindled connection, memory, and the small significant moments that shape a life. This comes out in June. Okay, June 2026. I actually haven't read anything by Ann Patchett. I know she came out with Tom Lake, which actually takes place in Michigan, so I should read that. But I haven't read anything by her, and I know that a lot of people like Tom Lake. I thought this sounded really interesting, and I'm excited to pick that up when it comes out. That concludes all of the books on my 2026 books I want to read in 2026. I think out of all of these, let's see, which one am I most excited for? I think Wild Dog Shore sounds really interesting. Also the Beartown series, Between the Wild Branches. There's so many I'm excited for. I feel like doing this video really encouraged me to get through these. Also, I'm really excited because I started a reading journal as well, so that's going to be a really fun like outlet for me to like add all of my books into and kind of, I don't know, just like a really fun way for me to look back and like see how my reading went throughout the year. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what books you guys are going to read this year, what books you're really excited for. Give me some new book recs too. I definitely want to hear from you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!